Coming up, Destiny gives us the local happenings in her segment Weekend Wizard. Chloe hooks us up with some books to read in lit literature. Alexis gives us some shows to watch and look forward to and binge watch. And I wrap it up with some games to play and level up. Welcome to the Lakefront Entertainment. You know, one of the biggest problems with break is that sometimes you just get bored because it seems like there's nothing to do. Fortunately, we got a fix for that. Let's head over to Destiny as she hooks us up with some magical events going on around San Antonio.
Thanks, JC. Welcome to Weekend Wizard, everyone. I hope you've had some adventures since the last show. And with that being said, let's jump into events coming up this week. Are you into history? Head on over to the UTSA Institute of Texts and Cultures for their newest installment, Texas in the First World War. They've amassed a collection of images, stories, and artifacts that sheds light on the legacies of global conflict. The exhibit will be available until January 17th, and tickets for adults are just $10. All you golf fans, I've got you covered as well. The Valero Texas Open is back. From April 17th to April 23rd at the AT&T Oaks course. This is the third oldest PGA Tour and the oldest PGA Tour to be held in the same city. That's 84 times that this event has been held in San Antonio. Its trophy is ranked in the top 10 coolest PGA Tour trophies, so don't miss your chance to see it in person. I'm sure you all know this next event. It's Fiesta time! Fiesta, known as the Party with a Purpose, is celebrating its 126 years. That's a lot of partying, SA. The official kickoff is Fiesta at Hemisphere Plaza on April 20th, starting at 5 p.m. Other events include Oyster Bake, Fiesta Masquerade Party, Chili Queens Cook-Off, the Texas Cavaliers River Parade, Nyosa, the Battle of Flowers Parade, the Flambeau Parade, and so much more. For a full event schedule, check out the official Fiesta website at fiesta-sa.org. That's all I have for you guys this week. Back to you, JC.
Awesome, thanks Destiny. Fiesta is a super fun time, so you know that I'll be there. But sometimes going out and about can be really tiring, so it's always good to wind down and turn up with some good books. Oh, you know what time it is. It's time for some lit literature.
Hello, and welcome to Lit Literature, where we turn up the literature. You might have noticed me in the last show waving this book around as well as forcibly shoving it into my friend's hand. This is one of my favorite books by V.E. Schwab's, and it's the first in the series. I am completely and seriously obsessed with this book, but first let me give you the lowdown. In this book, there are 4 Londons: Red London, White London, Grey London, and Black London. Red London is filled with magic and life. White London has magic but is dying. Grey London is without magic but is the closest to the London that we know. Black London is the only London that doesn't seem to exist. The hero of this story, my favorite character, is Kel, who is from Red London and can travel through different worlds. Cool, right? Except for the fact that he has to use blood magic, which is a little bit gross. As a traveler and the adopted son of the king, he delivers messages to the kings of the other Londons. But Kel has a nasty habit of smuggling from the other worlds, which is illegal. I think this is a funny thing about him, since otherwise he is so proper. I love that his little habit gets him in a bit of trouble. And like most of us who get in trouble, he decides to flee to another world. In Grey London, where he bumps into Delilah Bard, who is basically a BA thief, she pickpockets Kel, and instead of leaving with her loot, she forces herself into Kel's life and the newfound trouble. It's a wild journey from the beginning to the start, and it just leaves you saying, whoa! I love this series so much, and I seriously suggest it to everyone. The third and final book of the series came out February, and as you already guessed, I've read it. But have no fear, my faithful friends. V.E. Schwab's Darker Shade of Magic just got signed for a movie deal, and can you guess who's producing the movie? The glorious and wonderful Gerard Butler. Speaking of wonderful things, San Antonio Book Festival happened on April 8th. Of course I went, and it was a book lover's dream. Who doesn't love a day filled with books, author panels, and readings? After the festival, I came out with more books than I necessarily needed, which is technically 0. I'm containing myself because I need to finish all of my other books, which brings me to, what's Chloe reading? The list is a mile long, but here's the short list of what I'm actively reading this month. First up is Lab Girl by Hope Jaron, Landline by Rainbow Rowell, Akeda Witch by Nettie Okorafor, Wink Poppy Midnight by April Genevieve Tuhalke, and Learning to Swear in American by Katie Kennedy. I'm sure by the time you see this, there will be a lot more books. But in the comments below, tell me what you are reading. Which of the books sounds the most interesting to you? And don't you dare talk bad about Darker Shades of Magic in the comments, 'cause I'll cry. And that's all I've got booked. Back to you, JC.
Thanks, Chloe. If you're in the mood for something different to read, you should seriously check out the webcomic series called Space Boy. In this story, Amy is forced to follow her parents to Earth after her father loses his job. Normally that's all well and good, however the space station is so far away from Earth, it's gonna take 30 years to get there. The Earth that she's learned about will be completely different, her friends will be 30 years older than her, and she's gonna be all alone in this strange new world. I'm not gonna lie, I stayed up till 3 in the morning reading every single entry in this comic series when I first found out about it. Every panel is well drawn and stylized, the story is engaging, and every character just makes my heart melt. Just Google Space Boy and you'll binge the whole thing. Oh, speaking of binging, let's take a look after a short break at some new shows to look forward to watching nonstop with our friend Alexis. For now, it's break time. Beep, beep. I'm a sheep. I said beep, beep, I'm a sheep.
Vista wants you. Your future belongs to you. Make your education yours too.
Hey guys, welcome to Binge Watch. I'm Alexis, and yes, I'm wearing a crown because I'm the princess now. That was a supernatural reference. Anyway, if you grew up watching Disney movies and shows, then you probably saw a show called That's So Raven. The storyline followed Raven Baxter as she dealt with school, family, friends, and her power to see into the future. Raven's powers end up getting her into trouble, and she has to find a way to fix whatever problems come her way. The reboot, currently titled Raven's Home, stars Raven-Symoné and Annalise Vanderpool as they reprise the roles of Raven Baxter and her best friend Chelsea. They're both divorced mothers living together with their kids when one of Raven's twins starts to show signs of having the same psychic powers as her. The show is set to be released sometime this year on Disney Channel. They're creepy, they're kooky, mysterious and spooky, and just altogether ooky. They're the Addams Family. Recently, a trailer has surfaced on the internet of a brand new cast bringing the Addams Family back to life. As much as we would love to see the love between Morticia and Gomez and the antics of Wednesday and Pugsley once again, I'm sad to say that as of right now, the trailer posted by Netflix Geeks is fake. To some it looks very real, but when you take a closer look at the trailer, it's composed of scenes from past Addams Family adaptations. But there's still hope. So many people were excited for the reboot that there could be a possibility that Netflix might notice and actually create it as a Netflix original. That's all for now. See you guys next time.
Oh, now I got the That's So Raven theme song stuck in my head. Thanks, Alexis. Anyways, let's take a quick look at some of the shows that we, the Lakefront Entertainment crew, have been watching lately. Starting up with Destiny's show of choice, The Strain. The Strain is not your average vampire-esque show. It's disturbing, yet you just can't stop watching. It's like one of those zombie apocalypse or plague-centric movies, however, this one is episodic, which works really well for its story. You can catch The Strain in August when its 4th and final season airs on FX on Sundays at 10, and if you need to do some catching up, you can watch the whole series up to the current point on Amazon and Hulu. Chloe's pick of a show is called Z, The Beginning of Everything. This show is about Zelda and F. Scott Fitzgerald, which is super interesting because we get to see one of America's most famous writers living in the Jazz Age. A show about a writer. Never would have guessed Chloe would have been interested. Anyways, this show is great because we get to see how Zelda becomes this manipulative wife, which is super interesting to watch as her character develops. Also, it doesn't hurt that the costumes are on point. You can check out Z, The Beginning of Everything on Amazon Prime. Alexis is watching Supernatural, like everyone else. Moving on. I'm currently rewatching the Nickelodeon hit series Avatar: The Last Airbender. This show follows Aang, the last airbender, on his quest to become the Avatar before the Fire Nation completely takes over the world. To be honest, I'm really just watching the series again for one character, Uncle Iroh. He's by far my favorite character, and he's technically one of the bad guys. The whole series is magical, and I loved every second of it. You can get the full series now on DVD for like 20 bucks, and it's well worth every penny. Now we got our fix for TV shows, I think it's time we talk about some video games. Let's get ready to level up.
Oh yeah, Mario time!
This may be old news for iOS owners, but us over on Team Android just recently received Super Mario Run, which was made by, oh, wait a second, Nintendo? You've crossed over to the dark side. Mobile games. But seriously though, Nintendo doesn't make bad games, except for Metroid Other M. That game was not a good time. Okay, Nintendo usually doesn't make bad games, and Super Mario Run, despite being a mobile game, is no exception. In Mario Run, you control Mario by just tapping on the screen to make him jump. That's it. Mario runs automatically and there's no turning around. You can vault, wall jump, and even spin in midair to maintain some height. While simple, this game is far from easy. Getting from one end of the level to the other isn't too challenging, but trying to get all the special coins in each level will try your patience. See, in the new Super Mario Bros. Franchise, you get full control over Mario. If you miss a coin, you can just go back and get it. Plus, there's checkpoints halfway through each of the levels, so if you don't want to play an earlier part, you don't have to play through the same section over and over again. Mario Run has neither of these features. If you miss a coin, tough toads. You're starting the level over from the beginning because there's no turning back. Run out of time or get hit by an enemy? That sucks. Start the whole level over. I mean, yeah, the levels take like a minute to beat from start to finish, but I spent over an hour getting all the coins in just one level. If you're a completionist like me and like to collect everything in a game, then you might actually want to avoid this game. However, if you're just looking for a good time just jumping from one platform to the next, then this game is the game for you. Just be warned though, you do hit a paywall pretty early on to buy more levels, so even though it's free to download, it's not the full game. Think of it more like a fancy demo. You can download Mario Run on iOS and Android systems today. One of my favorite games of all time is the classic game World of Goo. Developed by 2D Boy, World of Goo is a puzzle action game where you use goo balls to build your way to the exit pipe of each level. Now, this game is not new by any standards. In fact, you can buy it on pretty much any platform on this point. However, it just got released for the Nintendo Switch, so I get to talk about it now. World of Goo functions perfectly on touchscreen devices, and fortunately, the Switch has got one of those. The Switch definitely does the game justice, and just be aware though that this game is definitely the same game that we've seen all these years. They didn't change anything on it, so if you've played it before, then you can probably skip on this one. Plus, if you don't already own a Switch yet, then you can always get a very similar experience on your tablet or a smartphone. You can buy World of Goo on literally anything. I bet your game can even be played on your printer. On the complete opposite end of the video game spectrum, we were graced with the re-release of Bulletstorm and its shiny new full clip edition. Bulletstorm is an interesting game. Most shooters require you to get from one location to the other, but Bulletstorm decided to shake things up a bit by introducing a unique skill shot system. Basically, the developers decided to ditch the traditional formula that most shoot-'em-up games follow to create a system where how you kill something is much more interesting than the why you're killing something. As you play, you're tasked with coming up with the most creative kills possible. For instance, you can use your energy leash that you get pretty early on in the game to launch enemies towards you in slow motion, allowing for all sorts of creative possibilities. For instance, you can launch an enemy directly into a cactus, or go for the first and last out kill, which requires you to launch an enemy, kill another, then go back to the first one and take him out before he touches the ground. This leads Bulletstorm to be one of the most unique shooters of the genre, and this time it looks even better with its remastered textures and models, all while running in 4K. However, there are some downsides to this otherwise awesome game. For starters, the dialogue is beyond obnoxious, with characters sounding like they were written by a 12-year-old who just learned how to swear. This could be funny for some, but I personally just wanted them to stop talking half the time. This coupled with the fact that the plot is extremely dull, and its pretty steep price tag of $45 for a game that's existed since the last generation of consoles, this game has some pretty big turnoffs that I can see ruining the experience for some. But if you look past that, Bulletstorm will give you the most unique, high-octane shooter experience you've ever played. You can get Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC today. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you've got something you want us to see, leave a comment down below or post about it on our social media platforms. Take care,